Welcome back to our Mastery Tips and Tricks show. I'm so grateful to be here with Deanna Fahlman, who is a breathwork practitioner and transition empowerment coach for individuals looking for support with the challenges that come with life's transitions. And today we're talking all about how to rise with resilience. I'm so excited for this episode. So thank you so much, Deanna, for being on the show.
And thank you for having me. I'm excited to share all about breathwork and supporting others.
I am excited for our audience to learn more about breath work. I guess I've been doing it like with yoga and with all the mindfulness tools, but not as intentionally as I have been within the last few years. And that made such a difference for me. So I'm excited to introduce other people to it. So, first, before we dive into your tips on your zone of genius, why don't you explain a little bit more about who you are, what do you do, and how you got started doing what you're doing?
Sure, yes, thank you. So I'm Deanna, and I'm the founder of Artfully Designed Wellness, your breathwork and retreat concierge. And basically, what I do is I use breathwork and coaching as well as my educational background. So I was a global program and education designer, and so I use all of these tools, and I create workshops, retreats, sessions for groups. But my goal is to help my clients, individuals, to reconnect with their inner wisdom through strategies and through some intuitive practices, and especially breath work, similar to the one we did just before starting, so that we can really connect and tune into that wisdom that we already have first before we look externally for the strategies and the practical tools. And my goal is to build resilience as we go through these transitions. So transitions, as we know, can knock us off course. Life brings us challenges. There will always be challenges, but if we are even more prepared with practical tools, breath work, and some strategic coaching, tips and other techniques, it can really help us navigate even better. All the while taking care of yourself, sticking with your values, and that's why I have Artfully Designed Wellness. The wellness that I provide is very much created to support your specific needs.
I love that. And it's so important for us to have that holistic approach, to have it customized to meet us where we're at and support our needs, because wellness is not a one size fits all journey.
No.
No, not at all. We are holistic beings and we each need to be treated as such and as a whole. And for all that you do, what do you think is your favorite like breath work technique that you currently use? I just thought I'd
Ooh.
ask.
Yeah, well, the one that we did before, and I'll share it, it's called the physiological sigh. It's the fastest way to calm your nervous system. So, big things are going on in your life, and you need just a moment to get grounded. I use it, my kids use it, my kids teach their classmates to use it before a presentation. So, this is like something that I want to spread to everyone. So, it's essentially a deep inhale through the nose, a second inhale to top up, and then a wide mouth exhale for longer than your inhale. So you did a perfect example. So yes, so it's inhale. So it's, and if you do one, you can feel already your nervous system just turning down slightly. If you do two or three, when you're in a really, important time that you need to just be grounded to really connect to yourself, it's a really good practice. That's one of my favorites. But I also do practices every morning, 15 minutes of breathing with a conscious connected breath, which is a circular breath. So you're
Mm.
inhaling and exhaling without a pause. So it's just in through you can do it through the nose or the mouth, and that's a little bit of a more charged experience. But just inhale, exhale, inhale with energy as if you're picking up a tissue, and then letting it fall. So it's like in through the nose and out through the nose, or in through the mouth and out through the mouth. So if you had to pick, I guess kind of find your own, but those are two of my favorites, which is more on the functional side, so the practical tips. But if I had to choose a real favorite, it would be the experiential side of breathwork, where you can be guided online or in person or outdoors, which is even more special. But you practice one breath pattern and you listen to music and you have a guide, myself, the practitioner, and you're guided through a journey, a musical journey, but practicing the breath. It's for deeper connection to yourself. And I hope everyone can experience a mini version of that at least at one point in their life. It just is it's like a massage for the body, mind, spirit. It is so powerful. So include that with your practical tools and the strategies, but first connect to yourself through breathwork, my modality of choice, but really what works for you. But of course, I'm here to tell you a little bit more about breathwork.
Yeah, and I wanted to just dive into that because I think when most people hear about breath work now, they think Wim Hof method
Yes,
and they think that's breath work, and that is one breathing technique.
exactly.
Yeah, so I love the ones that you shared, and they are so powerful. The longest breathwork guided session that I've ever done has been an hour, and I've done it a couple times with a fellow practitioner. And it would have to be, of all the things that I've done, would be the most heightened, expansive experience I've ever had.
Oh, that's beautiful to hear.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a bit of the science or the philosophy of how breathwork became even like it's been around forever, but how it became even more prominent in recent times from the 70s in the States, that it was designed to give that kind of expansive tune into your consciousness, tune into your inner world in a very different way to replace actually to replace in the States the use of LSD when it became illegal. So this is a way that you can experience a very, conscious, mind-altering state 100% naturally through your own breath.
And from my understanding, one is when you do it for a period of time, it releases the natural form of DMT.
Yes,
And then also the contracting of the core of the breathing is pushing the spinal fluid back up the canal to our pineal gland, which has crystals in it and is our switching and receiving station. And so we're just like turning on our magnetic body so much higher, and really does help with manifesting as well.
absolutely. And it also changes your brain state as well, like the waves, from alpha a bit more into theta and a bit more like dreamlike and accessing different states. So it's my tool of choice. And like you said, it was such a life-changing experience for me when I experienced my first longer session. So since then, I'm like, I must study more and I must share more. And that's why I love being here to share with you and your guests, your listeners.
Well, amazing. Well, let's dive into your incredible tips on your zone of genius. So, kick us
Yeah.
off with tip number one: how to master your inner world.
Yeah. So the first one that I like to do, and we'll do just a really gentle breath, it's more of a meditative breath practice to check out your yeses in your nos. This might sound like a simple thing, and it might be for depending on where you are in your journey, but I think it's really important before we get the practical strategies to make sure that what you're doing, saying, being, experiencing is aligned with you and your yes. So if you would like to follow along, I can guide you, and the listeners as well, you can. So I invite you to put your head over your heart over your hips. Just take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And if it feels okay, you can close your eyes. And just continue doing two more of those breath practices. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Beautiful. And if it feels okay, you can keep your eyes closed or just look away from the screen. But place a hand on your heart and one on your low belly. Notice that extra layer of connection to yourself. You may already notice the temperature of your hands, the level of pressure you have, maybe the texture of the clothing that you're wearing, taking us already one step, one layer deeper to connecting with ourselves. Just breathing at your own normal rate. And now I invite you to send your breath to your lower hand. So taking your breath lower into your belly, into your diaphragm. If you have a particularly busy mind, which we sometimes all do, you can simply say in your inside voice, when you inhale, I'm breathing in, and I'm breathing out on the exhale. Just noticing, not judging or changing or shifting, just connecting. And you can keep your hands on your body or you can release them. But the next step is to just check in with your yeses and nos. So a simple way to do this, and I can guide you, Heather, and then listeners, you can also follow along and do it on your own name. But if I were to say, your name is Heather, just notice that as a resounding yes, because you are Heather. And notice if you can identify where you may feel that in your body. Sometimes it's a sharper sensation, sometimes it's really subtle, but knowing your yes. And if you don't feel anything, that's practice. But if I say, your name is Deborah, and then you tune in and say, well, my name isn't Deborah, notice if you feel anything in your body. And you can continue doing this with things that you like. So, for example, I know that you like Wim Hof breath practices. So I say, Heather, you like Wim Hof breath. And then you go, yeah, I do. And then you'll notice where that yes is. It may be in the same location as before. And then something that you maybe dislike. And I'm just going to go on a tangent here, but I'll say, you like Taekwondo. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But if that's a no, tuning into where that no is. And you're wondering, why am I doing this for things that are really simple and really basic that we know about ourselves? Well, think of it as a muscle, and we're training ourselves to be very clear about our yeses and our nos. So when we get that offer for a project or we get that offer to do something else, where is that? Is that first lining up with my inner world? Does that feel good? We're connecting to the information that goes from the body to the brain. 80% of our information goes from the body to the brain, 20% from the brain to the body. So they're both valuable, but if we start always in the brain, we may be missing some information. So, Heather, would you like to do this? And she's like, oh, I feel that in my yes spot. Yeah, absolutely. Heather, would you like to do this? Nope, I felt that in my no spot of my body or that no sensation. And so that's a really good way to tune into your inner wisdom. And yeah, that was one of my favorite practices. And thank you, Heather, for allowing me to guide you through that.
That was beautiful. Thank you. And it was a distinct difference between the yes and the no. Yeah, yes
Okay.
was like in the heart and solar plexus, and then the no was like right in the third eye. It was like, nope, that is not my name.
Okay. Yeah.
Very
Okay.
interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Wonderful. And as I mentioned, if this is an easy practice for you, then that's great. You can continue doing it for this project or something a little bit bigger. But if you're just new to this and this is something that maybe doesn't even show up yet in your body, that's okay. This is day one. This is your starting point. So be patient with yourself, and this is a skill that you get to practice.
Beautiful. And it reminds me of in an NLP practice when we start working with the unconscious mind, that is something that we do as well, where we're checking in and we do similar things. We ask them truths and ask them lies and help them identify with themselves. And then we go into a tool. So I love it. And it
Beautiful.
feels so good being done on me
Oh,
or
yes.
with me, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. So learning to trust those yeses and nos. And then what
Yes.
about learning to trust your instincts?
Yeah, so it's kind of related, but again, we are mammals, so we have instincts just because we are part of this, the family of mammals. And so we have things and sensations that give us information. You've heard of trust your gut, tune into your instincts, those kinds of expressions. But what does that mean in your business, in your life, in your personal, professional? Well, we have the strategies that we can always add in, but there's a really basic internal compass that we have that gives us information that goes back to that the body tells us. So again, finding out where your intuition lies. Most people find it in their lower belly. That's where you can tune into things. Again, this is a muscle, so I also like to start. I may have mentioned this when we spoke before. When you are going to park somewhere, a simple idea, if you were going to park your vehicle, which spot feels like a good spot for you to, for no other reason than just tuning in? Does this feel like a good spot? Does this feel like a good spot? So trying that, or going, turning left, turning right. Which way should I turn to go to some place that I already know? So if this is a new skill, start by doing things. Or should I have the blue cup today or the red cup today for my hot chocolate? Should I wear this piece of clothing or this? And just which, you don't have to get into the mind and understand why. Just go with your intuition. And I like to, as a little bit of a thing, to maybe things. I chose this route and there was like green lights all the way, or whatever it happens to be. But just noting, you can do it the other side when I didn't listen to my instincts. We probably all have those experiences when we kind of, I knew it. I knew that was the wrong choice, or I knew that was going to happen. And that's okay. That's just part of our experience. Yes, we didn't listen to our instincts. And now let's continue to go back and trust in small little doses of like the examples that I gave. Or should I choose this project or this project, and just go into the physical? Where do I feel that in my body? What does it feel like? We're getting information that, is from our nervous system, from our brains. So our bodies, we're just taking in this information that the brain isn't the only head honcho in decision making. We can really tune into our bodies.
Yeah, and they do say the gut is actually the first brain because we need to nourish and feed it as well. Otherwise, the actual brain doesn't work.
Yeah.
And there's so many nerve endings in there, and just truly beginning to trust that gut and intuition versus the logical reasoning mind.
Yes. Oh, I love that piece of the health and well, the nutritional side, the food that we eat. Love that piece that you added.
Yeah, and that can impact us tremendously and put us in a fog and impact our connection to that higher self and intuition as well. So,
Mhm.
fuel the gut to get the good gut connection.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so now we talked about mastering the inner world. So just I'm so relaxed, by the way.
That's awesome.
I I knew that we were doing this great podcast today, so I meditated, did a little breath work, and then we listed more. And I'm just want to say, like, dialed right down. So
Oh,
feeling
awesome.
so good from that. Thank you so much.
Yes, my pleasure.
Now let's talk about mastering the outer world. So tell us about the practical tool you want to give us to help us organize that output.
Yeah. So, the inner, the outer, the hot, the cold, there's always the balance, the inner world, the outer world. So, getting into that other side, a really practical thing that I learned from Jesse Itzler, who is Sarah Blake's husband, if you know Spanx and what's the shoe, Sneaks. So he has this technique. It's similar. I've tweaked it a little bit, but what he does is he empties his email box December 31st or before the new year. So his email inbox is empty, whether it's into folders. I don't know if he presses delete. I don't know. But what I decided to do is I thought, ooh, that feels really good. Again, that feeling in your body, it feels like it might be a technique for me. So what I did is I put a folder in my email box called pre 2025. And I took all my emails and put it there, knowing they're safe, they're not getting deleted. I can go through them and organize them if I choose to. And then each email that comes in after that point, you get to reevaluate. Hmm, I don't think I want to shop at the store. Or yeah, I absolutely am excited to go to this store, or this newsletter, or this connection, or whatever email comes in. It's a really clear way to kind of realign with the information that you're receiving from outside. Is this still aligned? Does this still feel good with the values, with my current season of life? And it's a really practical way to see, oh, I had, 4,000 emails that I moved over there, and now I've got 11. And these 3 no longer align with me. It's a very clear way for you to see that. And so that's one thing that this is my first year doing it. And so that
Love it.
felt really good. It's like, ooh, empty email box, woohoo. And that next one coming in, like, I wonder, is this going to stay? Like, does this feel good? And so I wanted to share that one.
Yeah, and it's so important with all the information that we're taking in that we do a reassessment to make sure it's in alignment with the new and current and highest version of us.
Yeah.
And that takes a pause and a review. So I love this, how to manage some of the output. Guys, you'll have to let us know in the comments if you take this on. I would love to know. All right,
So
and let's dive into your next output tip.
yeah. So the next output tip is very much for you. So I would love to, and if you want to do it while you're listening to us, even better. Like I love to do it live, but I understand it might not be work out for you. But go to your calendar, whether you have, a digital calendar or paper calendar. Look at your day, and within the next 24 hours, schedule in a block of time from 5 to 15 minutes or more. Hey, you've got 3 hours, perfect. If you've got 5 minutes, that's great. And you're going to schedule in just like you would a doctor's appointment or a Zoom call or a project deadline. You're going to schedule it right into your calendar to do something for you that has no other purpose, but a very big purpose to bring you joy, pleasure, to do or be in a state of peace or calm or quiet. Something just for you, like something like, ooh, I would love 15 minutes to just rest or sit by the window. Or, I mean, there's so many things that you could possibly do.
Play my
Read.
guitar.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then it's that personal, put it in your diary, in your calendar within 24 hours and notice what it feels like when you gave yourself that little gift. And then the goal is, or the invitation, I will say, is to try again for 3, maybe 5 more of these blocks of time in the next week, especially if you have a really big week coming up. With the holidays, we sometimes have a lot of things to do. And it might seem like, well, how will 5 minutes help me? It absolutely, that little pocket of time that my alarm went off on my phone and I'm going to see ya. I'm going to go into my room and just read a beautiful poetry book with a cup of
Mm.
tea, something that feels really good for you. In those little pockets of time, if you can only afford 5 minutes in your schedule, that's perfect. If you have 15 or more, also great. So the invitation is to schedule in 3 or more in the next week. And this can be a practice. If it lands for you and it feels like it might be a good match for you or where you try it, keep doing it. How about this is your new way of being. Every day I get to schedule in these pockets of time for me. And then you kind of feel the value of how it adds to your day as opposed to takes away time
Mm.
from our day. It just enriches and energizes or re-energizes you, grounds you. So these little tips, but I think they can have really big impact as well.
Absolutely. And in our habit tracker, we use a time block for self care and joy.
I
So
love
we
it.
encourage that we block an hour of unscheduled time daily to do self care and joy. And whatever that looks like for you is different every day. And then I
Yeah.
just wanted to mention what came up for me as you
Mhm.
said, do it 3 to 5 times more. And immediately I went, oh, yeah, because then I'll be even better. So I'm going to do it for practice so that I could play a song for the holidays. And I was like, no,
Oh,
I get it. And it's not to be productive or it's actually just for joy. Remember, that's why you're playing. So I just wanted to note that I guarantee I'm not the only one who tried to
yeah.
attach like an outcome to it
And
instead of
that's
just it being for joy. So I thought I would note that.
and thank you for sharing that. Such a good reminder to make sure this is just no outcome. There is the only outcome is for you to do it. If you want to schedule another time to get better, the song that you want to play for the holidays, that's perfect. But that's not part of this particular practice.
Yes, I love that. We're just so addicted to productivity and producing outcomes that you said do something for joy, and I attached, like immediately unconsciously was attaching. So, guys,
Yeah.
I know I'm not the only one here who's doing that. So, make sure that you do it just for joy.
And
Incredible, incredible. So, now
yeah.
you've got a free gift. tell them where they could get it. The link's below. You're going to grab it now, and why and what it is.
Yes. And can I just add one thing? I
Yeah.
also want you to be gentle with yourself in these practices because this may be new to you, this may not be new to you, but always coming back to, yes, I was going to do this, or I forgot to do my 5 minutes of breath work. It's okay. It's okay. Just keep showing up for yourself as many times. Just like the traffic light isn't always going to be ready for you, it's okay. Something happens, it's okay. Just keep showing up for yourself.
I love
Okay.
that. Keep
So,
showing up for yourself. You need that on a shirt.
oh, I might just jot that down. Keep
Yeah,
showing up for
that could
yourself.
be a company logo.
Right, hey? I am jotting that down.
Yeah, definitely.
Fun how you have, interviews and things just show up.
Ooh,
Okay, so I would love to share more about breathwork with you. And I have a mini breathwork workbook. I'm a teacher, former teacher, so I love to show people how to new modalities. And so breathwork is one of my favorite passions and ways to connect with yourself. And so, yeah, I have this great little workbook. Gives a little bit of the history, a little bit of practical tips, and then there's other avenues where you can get a free 45-minute virtual conscious connected breathwork session for me. But there's I think a total of 6 practices in there that you can use to. If you need more energy, perfect. Try these. You're feeling like, oh, I need something extra to start my day. Or you've had a really busy day and you need to kind of continue to ground yourself. There's practices in there as well. So that's my free gift to you, and I'd love for you to check it out.
yes, and check it out and come back and tell us how it went for you. And if you're new to breath work, because in my head, I heard like, oh, 4 practices, that's a lot of work. Remember, this is the thing that adds back into your day. And it's actually not a lot when you sit down and think about it, even if it's 5 minutes. Because what is 5 minutes in 24 hours? What if it energized you for the entire day and the rest could be amazing?
Yes, absolutely. Very
So I
good.
love it, Deanna. Incredible. Thank you so very much. Guys, grab that no-brainer free gift right now and make sure you check out more from Deanna and Artfully Designed Wellness. And was there anything else you wanted to add today?
No, but thank you so much for having me here. And I really wish that everybody finds their own way to become even their own wellness. Of course, Artfully Designed Wellness, creating the wellness that works for you. Whatever I've said today, if it feels great, try it out. If it's not your cup of tea, that's perfect. Continue to explore and get curious about what is your specific recipe of wellness.
I love that. Get curious about what is your own specific recipe of wellness. I love that from Deanna. So thank you so much. And remember, everybody, grab that link now. Stay happy, healthy, wealthy. Expect magic and miracles. And what is the best that can happen? We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.